Hi learners, welcome to IoT Design and Applications. So in this week 3, in the last lecture of week 3 is Arduino. So as you know, IoT design and development is mainly happened with the help of generic purpose boards like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and there are special sensor modes. So in this week 3, we just start with Arduino now. In the next week, we will discuss about Raspberry Pi and other modes, how they can be useful for IoT applications. So, what is Arduino? So, Arduino it's an open source electronic platform, easy to use hardware and software. It has a software as well as hardware, so both are open source. Arduino boards can read inputs, so it can read any inputs through the digital I/O pins. It can display a light on a sensor or send a Twitter message. So anything whatever you would like on the web, you can able to do using Arduino. You can activate a motor, so you can activate a motor, turning on an LED or publish something online. So whatever you would like to do using an Arduino, it is possible. Everything comes at a miniature size. So you just the size of the Arduino board is just the size of a small matchbox or something, or matchbox or a credit card or debit card. So such is a very small computing device that comes with various facilities like this. Why Arduino? So why do we need Arduino boards for our purpose? So main thing is inexpensive. So the cost of some boards will be coming to somewhere around rupee 500 or INR 500. So which is a very cheaper application, so very cheaper board for doing so many applications. So that's how this Arduino was becoming very popular. It is cross platform. So cross platform means across the various devices you can able to configure Arduino. So let's say I have a Linux machine, or I have a Windows machine, I have a Power PC machine, I have a Mac machine, everywhere it supports. So that's why we call it as a cross platform. Simple and clear programming environment. So it is very simple and a clear programming environment. So we have a programming environment called a Sketch in Arduino. So where you can there is a Arduino programming IDE. In the IDE you can just use two simple functions called a setup and loop. So there are two functions, setup and loop, so that can able to command the hardware to work upon based on these two functions. Open source and extensible software, open source and extensible hardware. Whether the hardware and software both are open source and it can be extended. So it can be extended means the particular hardware upgradation or anything can be extended. Similarly, the software also can be extended. But again, everything Arduino comes under proprietary standard. It's not coming under limited general public license. It is coming under proprietary standard. So now you can see this is a type of board called as Arduino Uno. So Uno means first board. So what are the different components you just see here? You just see on indicator. So there's an indicator whether you have connected the LED or not. So that's an on indicator, and we have analog input pins here. So these pins are analog input pins, and we have ATmega 328 IC here. So this is an IC supported microcontroller we call. So it is an 8-bit microcontroller. So 8-bit microcontroller is being used here. Then we have a DC jack, so that means that here we can able to connect to the DC power supply, and we have power pins here. So these are some of the power pins with the ground, 5 voltage, 3 voltage, all these voltage levels have been given here. And crystal oscillator, so you can see that SPK crystal oscillator 16 is there, so that means that the oscillator frequency of 16 megahertz. So most of the 8-bit microcontroller will be running less than 16 megahertz. So Arduino Uno also have 16 megahertz crystal oscillator. And we have a USB port. So USB port means, so via this USB port you can power the device, or you want to do anything you can connect it to the USB port. So there's an USB port and built-in LED. So it's a built-in LED. So if you want to do any LED programming or anything, so you can able to use this built-in LED. And digital I/O pin. So input output pin. So via these pins you can connect. See that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So totally there are around 14 pins from 0 to 13. So total I/O pins are 14 pins here. So from here to here there are 14 pins, and after that we have A reference and ground, there are two other pins. So if you see digital I/O pin, there are totally 14 pins. So this is a simple general purpose board for Arduino. So one can able to do programming on this. So maybe during the last week of the lecture I will be demonstrating some of the experiments in Arduino. I have a Arduino board with all the peripherals, sensors and other thing. I will be giving a demonstration through my videos. So in case if you have the Arduino board with you, the learners are having the board with you, you can able to practice those programmings. But what I do here is at least I can able to showcase how Arduino can be useful for IoT design, that I can able to help you out. So these are the explanation here. So analog input pins A0 to A5, and we have a ADC converter that can able to the range of 0 to 1023, that means 2 power 10 totally, which equals 1024. Then ATmega 328 chip, 8-bit microcontroller that process the program. So it is coming under the 8-bit microcontroller. It have a crystal oscillator frequency, as you see in that clock frequency of 16 megahertz, and a DC jack where we have the power rating from 6 to 20 volts, but the recommended power will be 7 to 12 volts. It's a recommended power for the Arduino boards. So beyond 12 volts, when you keep on running the Arduino board, you can get the smell of a fuming smell, but nothing hazardous will be, but it's fine. It's fine going beyond 20 volts. Up to 20 volts it can able to withstand, but 12 volt is the maximum recommended power level. Then digital IO pins. So totally, as I said, that 0 to 13 totally there are 14 pins in the digital IO pins. So that means that we can able to make the IO pins either to act as input or output. So something you want to get the signal, when you want to read something from an external signal, you can use the input pins. If you want to send something outside, like a blinking of an LED or activating a motor or other thing, so you can use the output pin. ICSP, in circuit serial programming. So some different kind of programming method is in circuit serial programming. So that means that through serial connection we can able to do the programming. So that means that without connecting to any USB or externally powered, and then directly we can program the Arduino board in a different method. So one method is we connect to USB, and via USB we can directly download the program into Arduino, but the other cases will be through in circuit serial programming. On indicator, so LED that lights up when the board is connected to a power source. So that means that you have to identify whether the Arduino board is switching on or switch off. In that case, there is a LED indicating whether it is a on or off. Then power pins. So we have power pins like 3.3 and 5 volts power pin through the DC jack, and reset button. So whenever you want to bring the system to the original state, then you can use the reset button. So mostly the reset button will be there in almost all the microcontrollers, all the processor. There will be reset button to indicate to bring the address level to the origin. So that means that to the beginning of the complete state. So developing on the Arduino. So just the development here is IDE. First we need an IDE. So that's what we have, an IDE here. Integrated development environment. So pushing the code. So from your you do all the applications, everything from a desktop machine or a laptop machine. Through the laptop machines, the Arduino is connected via the USB. So you can directly push the program from your machine to the particular Arduino. So for that we will be using a USB cable. So one mandatory requirement is USB cable. Second thing is the process of pushing the code. The code is checked and compiled. So the IDE will do the checking and as well as the compilation. Both will be happening. So if there are any compilation errors, that will be reported in the bottom of the IDE, and you can correct those errors. And after that, once it is everything is correct, then the code will be uploaded to the hardware device, I mean the Arduino. If the code compiles successfully, it gets transferred to the Arduino and stores in its flash memory. So in the flash memory, the value will be stored. So this is the first thing in the Arduino is the IDE. Second thing is an operating system. So Arduino by default doesn't use any OS, so it is not having any operating system. So but it's only a simple bootloader. It's just a bootloader code. So since the Arduino has to boot when it is being connected to a machine or connected to power, so a simple bootloader is running inside the Arduino interface. So no OS as such, but only the bootloader, which simplifies the code pushing process. That means that the code pushing will be very easy because only a small bootloader will be running. Switch on the board, it simply runs the code that is compiled until the board is switched off again. So that means that since we have a function called as loop function, so inside the loop function whatever you write, it will be keep on running until the power is switched off. So that means that until this code will be running until the power off. So that means that only when you plug out the USB cable for the power or the DC jack for the power, the code will be keep on running. So that's what we called as an embedded system. That's why we call this while. The equivalent of looping is while. So this is called a super loop architecture. So whatever you write inside this while loop will be keep on running. Similarly, in Arduino we have something called as loop function. It is however possible to upload an OS to the Arduino. So but there is a question that whether Arduino support any operating system to handle. Yes, it is can handle, but not a conventional operating system. A lightweight real-time operating system it can handle. So that means that real-time operating system, they have a limited source code. The complete OS will be coming around less than 5 kilobytes. Also there are operating system less than 1 MB operating systems are there. So only such a small operating system or a lightweight operating system can be supported in Arduino. But that is again the requirement varies. The main advantage is their built-in support for multitasking. So Arduino handles multitasking. However, for many purposes can achieve reasonable results with a simpler task dispatching library based on the bootloader task dispatcher. So it handles simple operations in a very effective way. So next thing is a language. So language is similar, like if you know C or C++, then you can comfortably write any programming in Arduino. So C or C++, it's fine to learn Arduino. So I think most of the learners who are learning this course, they might be aware of C and C++. As well, some of you might have done this Arduino programming during your schooling days itself. But anyhow, the mandatory requirement for the course is that you can understand something about Arduino. The language usually used for Arduino is slightly modified dialect of C++ derived from wiring platform. So it is mainly on C++ language. Slightly it is customized for this Arduino. It includes some libraries used to read and write data from the I/O pins provided on the Arduino and to do some basic handling for interrupts. So as you know that we have C programming interrupts are there, C++ interrupts are there. So slightly those interrupts are also can be used within Arduino for hardware level interrupts. So that means that if an IO device needs some memory, so the IO devices can able to request the CPU for any interrupts. So in turn the CPU will request the memory and then give back the interrupts, give back the memory to the IO devices. So something, these kind of tasks will be managed by this software libraries. So usually these kind of tasks mainly handle using assembly instructions, but using a high level language like C, C++, how do we handle is this because of this libraries given by Arduino. The variant of C++ tries to be forgiving about the ordering of code. For example, it allows you to call functions before they are defined. So that means that using that static, we already know that static. So if any class is static in conventional OOPS programming, object oriented programming, what happens is before an object is created, the function can be instantiated. So that's how the same way here, it allows you to call functions before they are defined. So that means that even before defining the functions, you can call the function. It won't be throwing any error. The code will be going backside or going front and then check whether any defined functions are there in the code. So that is what the powerful thing about Arduino. Then there are two routines. I have said that there is a function called a setup and there is a function called a loop. This routine runs once when the board first boots. So this routine runs when the first time when the board is booting. Could use it to set the modes of IO pins to input or output or to prepare data structure which will be used throughout the program. So that means that this setup function is used to initialize. So initialize all the system level hardware and the software. So all these things that we can initialize here. So which pin is for allocating to which part, and if I want to write any stack queue or anything, if I want to implement within that program, so I can use this setup function. Loop function is this routine run repeatedly in a tight loop when the Arduino is switched on. So once after the program is written, whatever instructions given inside the loop will be keep on running till the board is powered off or switched off. Typically to check some input, do some calculation on it and perhaps do some output in response. So either it can able to read the input or it can able to send it to the output. So let's say a small blinking LED program. So you can see that int LED equal to 13. So int LED means I just define a variable LED equal to 13. Void setup. So pin mode LED output. So the variable name here is pin mode is 13 comma output. So we are giving it to output. That means that this 13 output means the pin number 13 will be allocated for as an output. That means that I can able to light a small LED as an output. In the loop what I do, digital write LED comma high. That means that to the pin I make it high. High means what? High. Low means high means I send high power. That means 3.3 volt or 5 volt I can send. Low means 0 volt. Here also low means 0 volt. So 0 volt means LED will be off. 3.3 means LED will be high. That means it will be blinking. Not blinking, it will be on. And 5 volt means it will be on. So here in this case it will be off. So delay for 1000 milliseconds. So here delay 1000 means 1000 milliseconds. So delay is in millisecond, which is equal to 1 second. So that's how here the 1 second. Similarly, if I want to make the LED to blink, then after that, after 1 second, I make same LED to become low. Low means it becomes 0 or it becomes off, and here it becomes on. And delay again 1 second. So 1 second on and 1 second off. So you will get a output of on and off in a particular LED. So that's how I can able to blink a single LED in a simple program. So this program can be compiled, checked and compiled and downloaded to the Arduino, and the Arduino executes it. The circuitry will slightly different here. So we have a breadboard. So this is called as a breadboard. So most of you might be knowing the horizontal pins are the power pins, and these are all have a horizontal connection. So all the pins have a same connection. Similarly, this second line also will have the same connection. Whereas, I mean, this is see minus and plus as the board says, and this side. So these things have the same connection. So if you want to give connection, so this will be having the same connection, and this will have the same connection. Similarly, when you see in the diagonal in the side, all these things will have the same connection till the end of the board. So it is on the horizontal way, the power connection, and this is on the vertical way. So now the LED is connected, and see the pin number 13. So via this 13 number pin, a pin is to one resistor connected. It is for the pull up resistor. So one end of the resistor pin is here, the other end is given to the power circuitry. There we have LED, and there from there it goes and it connects to the ground. So we need to have a ground also for the LED, VCC and the power supply and the ground. So the LED is on as per this program. So it is a blinking LED, so on and off will be happening. So if you see the waveform will be like this. So on for 1 seconds, off, on, off, like this. This is a total time. So total time is T total, and this is on and this is off time. So this is what a square wave generation, that what we have programmed here. So this is a simple experiment. So just to know what is Arduino and how can we design using Arduino. But please learn more Arduino experiments. If you have a board with you, you can learn more experiments, and then you can do some experiments. So I will be sharing you some source codes also through our portal, so that you can download the source code and directly do the programming.